It was like our families were just meant. And then what's really crazy is my dad grew up in Guam from 7 on, and that my husband's aunt just passed away 2 weeks ago. She was a native of Guam. I'm like, what? How is this possible?
By the way, I would just like to point out to everyone that we have started streaming.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Doing things a little bit differently, a little bit more casually. I've foregone the whole 15-minute intro with the music and the image because I've kind of realized that literally no one else in our D&D group does that. So I figured, let's not be so performance-ish with this. We're just here to have fun.
True that.
I just don't really do music anymore because I don't want to destroy my computer.
Yeah, you see,
Oh.
you see, you have an actual practical reason why you don't do that. I'm just like, nah.
Are you streaming on YouTube or on?
This is again going to be on Twitch. However, however, I do know for a fact this will be our last time streaming on Streamlabs OBS. Come next week when it's the next episode of The Great Poison. That's when we're gonna try switching to just straight normal OBS on Steam, and we're gonna see if that works a little bit better because I have been having weird audio issues lately with Streamlabs where the preferences to my input and output would get reset every time between streams.
Me too.
Weird.
Me too.
So I always have to reacquire my microphone and my speakers. And even then, at the very least, these past few sessions, I can guarantee that the session can hear us and the background music during the playtime. But when it comes to doing like the little cinematic intro with like the nice intro image, that music it's completely silent to any listeners of the stream. There's no music when music should be playing. So so pretty much that was like the final nail in the coffin for me to move away from Streamlabs. I'm gonna try normal OBS and see if that works any better. By the way, Carly is on her way. Her laptop decided now of all nights to do system updates and a restart, so it might be a hot minute. I hear her down the hall. She says it's just gonna be another few minutes.
1 hour later.
No, it's not gonna be an hour.
300 years later.
That was the greatest moment in the SpongeBob musical.
Right.
Which, by the way, if any of you have Paramount Plus, they have a professional recording of the SpongeBob SquarePants musical. It was the first. It was the first thing that Carly and I watched when we got Paramount Plus. It is so much better than I could have imagined.
Oh yeah.
And the actor who plays Squidward is absolutely top notch.
Yeah.
Now that being said, though, we still will at least do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of The Song of the Wilds. I am Evan, I am your dungeon daddy, and surrounding me in the Zoom chat are the poor schmucks who thought it'd be a good idea to play a game with me.
And I won't call you daddy.
Oh, you will.
Nope. Sorry.
By the way,
it's weird for D&D mom to call you daddy.
No, that makes sense. Okay, in your case, it makes sense. Oh God,
You're barely older than me now.
I keep forgetting I am technically speaking older than you, and that's weird because you look older than me.
It's the Wookiee beard.
It's the Wookiee beard. Yes, you have infinitely more hair than I do.
That Greek heritage, man.
Meanwhile, I am the German. Anywho,
I am mostly German though.
I was gonna say I don't know Germans. You know, there are quite a few that got that. You know.
By the way, I all just kind of realized for all of us watching that I do believe that this is our first playtime back because we never played last week because that was Thanksgiving weekend and Black Friday, so we all kind of took a nice break around that time. Not so much an announcement, but Carly and I just really want to brag. We got a new TV. It was a spur of the moment decision for Black Friday. Something that was $400 we got for only $300. It's a 50-inch diagonal Samsung smart TV.
Nice.
And I've been playing God of War Ragnarok on it, and it is like orgasmic to my eyes.
I can't wait to play that. I'm so excited for it.
I've also been playing Sonic Frontiers, which is also amazing, and this should be what all future 3D Sonic games should be. And of course, the soundtrack is the best I've ever heard.
Well, it's got one OK Rock on it, so
it does. That song is publicly available on Spotify now, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait for them to bring out Undefeatable.
The lead singer of like what is it, Sound of Sirens or Silent? He did a song, I know too, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the bit. I think that's like the screamo metal song called Undefeatable.
Yeah.
Which is odd hearing that in a Sonic game, screamo metal.
I think they just really wanted to try to like be evocative of like the adventure era with this one or something.
I know, they did a good job. All right, so now that being said, though, does anyone have any announcements that they'd like to do?
I'll do a little one. Or not.
Give me just a moment. Josh started talking technically before you did, but then I will talk about that. Josh, you had an announcement?
At work, my boss and my supervisor and my lead pretty much all agree that if all new workers worked as hard as I did, that they would have a super team of new employees every year, and Bubba wants to be involved.
Oh God,
Bubba's, what you doing, babies? There you go.
But yeah, so they all think I'm doing really well. So, and I'm more ahead of where I should be at this point, basically. So,
nice.
So that's kind of a nice little pump me up this week. I had like 3 meetings, one with the district manager, one with my supervisor, and then one with my supervisor and my lead, and pretty much they have nothing bad to say, which is nice. So
nice,
very good.
Something that Carly wanted me to announce, and this is something that we are legitimately excited for. We got our next big photo shoot that we're going to do. It's going to be at this place called Selfie World, which apparently is just this place which is just nothing but backdrops to do multiple photo shoots in. Like, Carly, that is what it is. Just a room full of backdrops. Yeah, she says yes.
The back rooms, if you will.
Yeah, it's a back rooms, if you will. And yeah, we are going to be doing, and I'm obviously the photographer, but Carly and our friend Jordan will be doing Persephone and Hades of Webtoon's Lore Olympus.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So Carly's going to put herself all in body paint. And she says, "Fuck yeah," down the hall. And speaking of Carly,
oh, there she
is.
What? Say that again?
That good, it's actually working.
Yay!
Yay!
Your steampunk stuff lately. Oh my gosh, girl. That primo.
Okay.
Thank you.
That actually is thanks to a friend of my mother's, Catherine McBride, who is a professional photographer herself. She was testing out some new equipment and editing techniques and wanted Carly to be her.
Me to help her with her class.
She wanted Carly to be her test subject for that. And it was actually quite fun because then she allowed me to try out different lenses attached to my camera, and I was allowed to take a few pictures, and that was fun.
That was awesome. Yeah, you still have yet to you have yet to finish those, but they're gonna be fantastic.
We've just been so busy with work.
It's been kind of fucking disgustingly busy.
Yeah,
I was a photography major back before there was digital. So I have a complete dark room.
Oh my
That's
god.
in my
Awesome.
that I would love to rebuild. But I this digital stuff is way beyond. I know how to manipulate a slide and all that, but this new digital stuff is so high tech for me.
You know, I'm never gonna forgive you guys for not like actually coming to our wedding when you were in town, Dory, because our officiator was a photographer and he like works with nothing but old cameras.
Oh wow.
Like he legit has a collection of old vintage cameras. Some of them he actually actively uses in his work.
Too funny. My grandmother gave me an X-ray reader to use with my negatives so that I could, you know, from the hospital. My grandmother was a nurse at 2 hospitals. So whenever they would change out stuff, she'd give me stuff. So I have stuff in my house that's all from hospitals in the 70s.
I think that's so fucking cool.
Oh, I completely forgot to mention, we do have another little mini announcement. Unfortunately, our resident chaotic tiefling Malice will not be joining. No. This one is actually for a much better reason. Like,
oh, good.
In the past, it was due to very concerning health reasons. This time,
a date night.
She's got date night with her lovely lady, Draga. So, and that is always a good reason to miss D&D. All right. One last call.
Oh, I have one more.
Yes.
Josh and Leah. I bought your Christmas gift today. It should be coming to your house on the 5th.
Already?
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, by the way, Evan, you still gotta pay me halfsies for that.
I know, I will.
Can I brag on Liam?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am so proud of how he's doing on YouTube. He's got 7.8 thousand followers now.
Yeah, he does.
I'm
Dude,
so
Liam,
proud
you
of him.
gotta get monetized. You would like be able to quit your job at the deli and just be a fucking YouTuber.
No, not at 7.8, unfortunately. And even if I did, like, you guys can hear me, right?
Oh
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I only really upload shorts, so I can't even put ads on those.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, Liam, if it gets too tough, you can come in here and sit with me.
Oh.
No. Like I said, I have something to record. Remember?
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go with what Liam said, in order to actually really make a living on YouTube, you need at least like a few hundred thousand followers. This is
people who would actually be willing to give you money, and you need a lot of people for that.
But in our last in his not today's stream, but was it yesterday's stream? Somebody came in and said, "Hey, I love your voice. I have a game. I want to message you about getting you to."
Yeah,
so,
we'll see where that goes, but you know.
But I mean, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, for you guys that are voice actors, you know, it's that beautiful voice you and Evan have that, you know, you can you just keep plugging away on these things and somebody's going to find out that you two have fantastic talent, you know.
And maybe I'll figure out videos that I can upload regularly and see if I can get ads on those, but I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on that. So
right on. That's so fair.
And my streaming's getting a little bit better. I'm consistently having about 7 people on my stream. So I'm just
that's awesome.
I mean, it's only been a year. I got to keep plugging away, but you know, I do cozy kind of gaming. So
nice.
Yeah, I want to get into streaming like the Pokemon games because I really love playing them, and I want to get a actual regular Switch so that way I can actually stream it, because you can't do it with the light. You have to have like the big one. So
yeah, Liam streams off his Switch sometimes. I haven't got that set up yet.
The blanket's all warm.
But I would love to do that.
Oh.
I have a Switch. But yeah, I play cozy games. I don't play any
Yeah.
high strategic games, but I think a lot
sometimes
of people just come and listen,
Mhm.
because I do voices.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Baby
All,
boy, come here.
all right, last call. Does anyone have any announcements?
I love you all.
Loves you.
Aww, we love you too so much.
Mushy, mushy,
Uh,
mushy.
Here's with this Irish drink.
Ah, sláinte. I'm drinking water. Sorry.
Me too.
I have water too. Water shot.
All right. Well, with all that being said, let us continue with the Song of the Wilds episode. What episode is this? 10? I think this is 10.
We're only 10 episodes in?
Yeah.
Good God.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody got married in the middle of the summer,
Oh, fair.
That's fair.
And then
What assholes did that?
Yeah, I know. They sound
Oh
like
no, it's just some assholes that live in Illinois. I don't know.
Yeah, they sound like tools. Anyway, okay, so yeah, this is Song of the Wilds episode 10 Remains. Okay, here's hoping the music works. But come on, cooperate with me. There you go. Let's see if this works.
Quite literally just said no.
Is this working? Okay, yep, you're all dancing to it. Where we last left off our intrepid group of hunter warriors simply known as the Carrion Crew. We finally have a name! Okay, I'm turning off the music. I'm actually kind of basking in it. I'm so happy, like, just before we hit double digits, you finally got a name for yourselves.
I want that on a shirt.
And I just want a lineup of everyone just looking absolutely exhausted and just covered in monster guts.
And Stridar is the only one that's like.
Stridar and Zephyr are both like.
Okay, we need an artist.
And everyone else is just like,
We have an artist that's in the Discord. We just need to tag her and ask her to do it.
Yes, we do.
She's the one.
That's true. It just depends on what style you want done in.
She made my you can't see it, but it's my D&D or not my D&D, my Discord icon.
Oh.
Anywho. After being officially assigned the task by High Commander Volthric, Supreme Commander of the Greyblades Guild, and having a nice meeting, and finally meeting in person Old Joe, the resident weaponsmith of the Greyblades, they finally set out on their task to investigate just what happened to one of the Archbeasts. Well, after finally leaving the safety that is the city of Acheron on the island of Home, the Carrion Crew ventured deep into the jungle where they found the body of the Archbeast of the jungle, the Garalion. And that body was absolutely eviscerated and just torn apart everywhere. And that, dear viewers, is where we finally begin our next step in this journey.
Yes.
Carrion Crew.
Hmm?
You find yourself at the edge of this large circle of space within the jungle. The trees have splintered and just collapsed on the ground. The very flora has been torn asunder. But what really is striking about this place is the absolute tragedy that you see before your eyes. You see the body of the Garalion, this absolutely massive four-armed gorilla, and one of the known guardians of Home has been torn apart. His guts are there, his arm is there, half of his head is over there. It is an absolutely visceral sight. Carrion Crew, how do you proceed?
I would like to investigate if possible.
All right, that is very good. Now, Josh, you actually bring up something interesting because this is where I am actually going to have you each do an investigation check. However, because of the sheer massive size of the Garalion and the quote-unquote crime scene that this happened in, I need you all to discuss amongst yourselves in character, because you all are not only meant to do your own investigation checks, I need you all to do investigation checks of different elements of this site. So, like, one of you can investigate the Garalion's body. One of you can investigate another part of the Garalion's body. One of you can investigate the trampled trees. Like, whatever you think might be interesting, do an investigation check, and each piece of the puzzle will appear. So, Carrion Crew. So, I'm sorry, Carly. I know you're about to say something, but I have a whole thing here I have to say.
No, I'm sorry. I'm super excited.
I know, that makes me happy that you're excited. Carrion Crew, what do you all investigate?
If you don't mind me going.
Go
Stridar kind of looks around, and he actually looks to Lorelei and goes, "Lorelei, you've done a lot of hunting, you know beasts well. Why don't you, if you don't mind me suggesting, why don't you look at the actual animal's body, since you know beasts well, and see if something just doesn't seem right about that?"
Well, I was actually, if you don't mind me saying, I was gonna go look at the trees because I know tracks, and I know when, like, the trees fall over, if it's natural or if it's a monster that might have crushed them. Is that okay, or do you want me to look at the body?
Well, I think if that's what you're most comfortable with, I think you should look at that then, and I will look at the body, and that's fine with everyone else.
Okay.
You seem to be rather adept with monster hunting. You probably could be one to investigate the body as well.
And then he looks to Zethar and goes, "Why don't you go up to the sky and see if you can see anything from up there?" And the little dragon goes, "Okay," and just flies up to the sky to see if he can't scan the horizon or scan the forest from up above and see if he can see anything from up there.
All right. So just to make sure I have this so far, Lorelei, you're going to be investigating basically the surrounding area and the fallen plant life to see if you can get an idea of what exactly happened here. Zethar is going to get a bird's eye view of the entire scene as a whole. Stridar, you are going to basically look at the remains of the Garalion up close.
And
now,
to specify, Zathar's gonna look overall view, but he's specifically looking to see kind of like what Lorelei is doing on the ground from up above to see if if there's any movements or like disturbances with the forest from up above, the tree line and things of that nature, to see if there's anything out of place from up there.
Oh, is he like kind of looking to see if he can find almost like a trail that like the monster might have made? That's a good idea.
Yeah. So basically, kind of like what you're doing on the ground, but he's kind of doing up above, and kind of, I was thinking, kind of like compare notes type of thing.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Now that is definitely a good idea, which then leads into the next rule about all of these investigation checks. A lot of you, because there are 6 of you here in this team, there is 7, but unfortunately, again, Sabrina's not here. A bunch of you can investigate the same thing as another person. Maybe for all you know, you might be able to catch something that the other person might miss. Not to say that you don't trust the other person's talents, but you never know. Sometimes you just need another set of eyes to look at something. Now, I mentioned this because while we have Lorelei, Zethar, and Stridar doing investigation checks, Kara, Fidelma, and Dath, you have yet to decide on what you guys will specifically be investigating.
I suppose Kara will kind of assist Lorelai, but she'll be looking around, seeing what kind of tracks there are. Like if there's any tracks that are out of the ordinary. So like nothing that's like normal, like wolves and bears and, you know, regular animals like that, but more so like what kind of other tracks there might be.
All right. So both Lorelai and Kara will be looking at tracks and basically the surrounding foliage. Fidelma and Death, what will you guys be investigating if you choose to?
Stridar,
Yes.
do you think? I don't really know stuff like this. I'm more mechanically inclined.
I love that
Yes.
But I
voice.
could look over the body. I have pretty good investigation. I can find the nitty gritty. I can look at the body to see if there's bites, or maybe if claw marks, or stuff like that.
Oh, so you want to look at the body and specifically look to see if it got into battle with anyone?
Yes, like if a bigger beast with bigger teeth or big claws could have done something to it. I mean,
It-
that would be so scary, but how cool to find out.
Stridar just smiles and just goes, "I would love your assistance with looking at the body."
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm pausing the music because I'm calling a quick timeout here in the session. Fidelma, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You won't get any context out of this, but I just need to get the demon out of me. Fidelma, can you please say in your Fidelma voice, would you like a lager?
Would you like a lager?
You like a
Would ya?
lager?
I myself like a good stout. A
So
good,
do I.
fine stout.
See, I like the lagers, but stouts aren't my thing.
Oh, no.
Now I can go into it. I can't. My ants will just die if I start mimicking my ants. There
There
you
you go. See, Stridar, that's why I love you.
I like me a good Guinness. That nice chocolate with a hint of coffee.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I just had to get the demon out of me. I just needed to hear it in that voice.
Sidebar, real quick before we go back. I actually had a friend who went to Ireland and brought me back a small thing of Guinness from the Guinness factory.
Ooh.
Was
Let me
it
tell you.
delicious?
It's
Let
different.
me tell you, they're jipping off the U.S. because
Mhm.
real Guinness from Ireland,
Mm.
from the
Mhm.
factory.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep, had it on my honeymoon 30 years ago.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Delicious.
Thanks for reminding me how old I am, Mom.
Yes, I smuggled him home. I smuggled him.
That's fucking funny.
Anywho.
Actually, Fidelma's voice is when I do a Punch and Judy show. It's my punch voice.
She's been doing voices
The
like
sausages.
she's been doing voices like this like her whole life. Honestly,
yeah.
I,
Love
I,
that.
I love that. Okay, anywho, back to the jungle crime scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fidelma is also going to be looking at the nitty-gritty of the Gralion body itself. All
Yes.
right, now, Death, are you going to investigate anything?
Well, that's where I wanted to ask you, Mr. DM, if I could get a little creative.
I love it when people get creative. Do tell.
Well, I have True Strike as a cantrip,
Uh-huh.
and it does say it grants you brief insight into target defenses. So I was wondering if I could maybe use True Strike to see if I could find out what maybe hurt or killed this thing.
Ooh, that is actually pretty interesting. For this type of scenario, I actually will allow this. So how we're going to play this out is, so we got Lorelai and Kara that's investigating the surrounding area. Fidelma and Stridar are going to be investigate the actual remains of the Gralion itself. Zethar is going to be getting a bird's eye view. Now, Dath, your investigation with True Strike helping you out is going to be a little bit of a mix of everything. You are
Sure.
going to try and look at not just the surrounding area, but the body itself at the same time to get an idea of what went down, how did this thing die. So basically, they're all setting the stage, and you're the one basically trying to figure out what the show was.
Okay.
Yes, Josh.
Technically speaking, and I'm doing this because I'm looking at my ranger features here. We're in the forest, right?
Now that actually is a good question. Does D&D Beyond, or D&D as a whole, does it specify an actual difference between a forest and a jungle? Because this is a jungle.
Not that I know of.
Okay, then what is it that you're inquiring about?
When I do proficient skills in the terrain that I am in, it kind of involves that.
Mm-hmm.
My intelligence or wisdom checks in that terrain double. So like the proficiency part of it.
Dang. Okay.
So that's why I'm asking. So like if I do an investigation that involves the forest, so like and the things that might be in it and things like that. So I'm investigating this body because something happened to it in the terrain. Would that work with like my proficiency with that investigation? So I have a +3. So when I make this roll, with you're okay, would that be a +6?
Okay, so I actually do have a way that can possibly work out. Technically speaking, in this kind of setting, you would be correct. If you were doing an investigation in the forest, then a feature like that would indeed activate. However, I would originally say no to this because you're not exactly investigating the forest itself. You just happen to be in a forest, but you're investigating a dead body. Now, I could say that if you and Kara were to switch focuses, and she investigated the body while you investigated the surrounding forest, then the feature would count.
Gotcha.
So you can.
It's if Carly still wants to have, or if someone else still wants to do what they're doing, it doesn't matter to me. I can still investigate the body just fine. I was just asking.
No. That was a very good question. So like Carly or Lorelai and Kara, if either of you would like to possibly switch focuses with Josh, that's completely your choice. But
I think based on her character, it would make more sense for Lorelai to investigate like the surroundings.
Okay, so
but that's just my opinion. Like,
but
I'm
it's your
down
character,
to do
so
what...
so that trumps mine.
Yeah.
We're going off of characters.
I didn't want to like step on your toes there.
Oh
no,
good buddy.
No toes are getting stepped on here. This is why I'm presenting the opportunity, but I'm leaving it up to you to make the choice or not. So Lorelai is going to stick to investigating the forest. What about you, Kara? Are you going to stick to the same focus, or are you going to switch with Stridar?
I mean, Kara doesn't really know anything about animal or plant life, so I think it would be good for somebody who has some experience with the beast.
Yeah, I'll just keep to the +3. However, I would also like for you to know, DM, just part of this with the Natural Explorer. While we're in this forest/jungle, due to it being my particular focus with my Natural Explorer, we can't become lost except by magical means, and I remain alert to danger even if I'm engaged in another activity. And should I forage for anything, I will get twice as much food as would be normal. And while tracking creatures, I learned the exact number their sizes, and how long ago they passed in the area.
Okay, now that is actually pretty good, and even if you were not a ranger, because of your character's personal backstory and how they were personally trained by the Greyblades, if you were not a ranger, you would still have like similar skills.
Yeah.
But anywho, so with that all being said, Stridar, Zethar, Kara, Lorelai, Dath, Fidelma, I would like you all to roll me your investigation checks. Josh,
I'll be doing Zethar's with this.
Yep, you're basically rolling for 2 characters.
Yep, that's why I brought this out, so that way I could actually do Zethar's with my regular dice, and I have Leah here to keep me honest.
Perfect.
We would believe you're honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I
without
know.
Tara.
No, but like it's good to kind of just have that out there in the open. I believe Zephyr is a +3.
Okay.
That would be it. You let us know when you want the scores, Mr. DM.
Yes, in just a moment. Sorry, I had to open up another window here, so the screen kind of blipped for us for a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna ask each of you your skills. First off, Lorelei, what did you roll?
I got an 11.
Okay, so an 11 for Lorelei. Kara, what did you roll?
Be a dirty 20, good sir.
Dirty.
Oh, you dirty girl.
You're a dirty bird.
Well, somebody hit the bingo card.
Stridar, what did you roll?
Both Stridar and Zethar both got 17.
Okay, 17 for both. Dath, what did you roll?
Dirty 20.
Ooh, nice. And
Doing good tonight.
and lastly, Fidelma, what did you roll?
Don't you say it, but it was a dirty 20.
Oh my god.
You did? Oh, okay.
Everybody
all did
got
I
well.
have a
dirty
+6 in investigation.
You didn't you don't roll on D&D Beyond. Okay. Yeah, that
No,
makes
I
sense.
roll with the real stuff.
And
You and I are both rolling with
and
real
me
stuff
and-
tonight.
I don't have any luck with the real stuff. I always roll poorly with the real stuff.
Wait, hold on. Carly was trying to say something. What were you trying to say?
and me and Kara got the lower one.
Oh, Kara got
Kara-
20.
Yeah,
Kara got
Damn
20.
it!
I
I'm
don't know if I
the
bet
only
you're
one that didn't get a 20.
No,
I got 17.
Okay.
Both
I was
Stridar
like-
and Zethar. Both Stridar and Zethar got 17s.
Oh shit,
So-
really? Wow.
Yep.
wait, Carly, I think you're talking so loud your mic muted you automatically. Could you repeat what you said? Get back. Stop.
I thought I was the only one that didn't get a 20, but then I was like, but I could have swore I heard somebody say that they got a lower than a 20. For some weird ass reason, my mind was going directly to Leah. I apologize, Josh.
Same screen.
It's the same
That's
screen.
fair.
All right. Well, the good news is, Carly, despite your relatively low roll compared to everyone, all of you actually triumph with your investigation checks. So,
That's nice.
I need you all to pay attention because this is how I'm gonna go into real big, like I'm gonna go in deep here with the narration and the storytelling. So
Rolling it.
going around the circle. So, Lorelei. Wait, can I? Okay, that's not gonna work. I'm going back to the original music. Okay, so, Lorelei. As you look around and investigate the scene, you're very familiar with the jungle. This is where you live. This is where you've basically made your life for as long as you can basically remember. You are familiar in your own special way all manner of creatures that live in the jungle. You know all the herbivores, you know all the carnivores, and you even have a basic surface knowledge of the other areas of the island of home as well, at least the two that are on either side of the jungle, which would, I believe, be the desert and the swamp. That being said, though, something is off. Whatever the Goralion was fighting against, it was such a violent fight that the Goralion basically tore apart everything in its way. Every fallen tree that you see did not fall naturally. This was all involved in whatever the Goralion was in conflict with. In fact, you can even see trees that were not only broken off from the bottom, but also shattered in the middle as well. Whatever...
Sorry.
No, yeah, please, go, ask me.
Okay, well, I was going to say, is there any way for us to know what it fought was bigger or smaller than it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, do I see any, like, tracks, and are they gonna give me, like, any sort of, like, inkling on how big it was? Or does Kara see any tracks? Because she was assisting me.
I am going to get to that, because I have a whole thing that involves all of your checks in a circle. That's why I had you all roll at the same time, because I'm just going to give one big descriptor instead of, like, little mini ones.
My apologies. Please continue.
Now, so back to Lorelei. What you can tell by just how sheerly destroyed this area is, whatever the Goralion was fighting against, it did not care about the surrounding area. And you just get that little prickle in the back of your neck that what you do not know exactly what the Goralion was fighting for its life against. But for something to make it act so violently for the sake of self-defense, it must have been something truly terrifying. Which then leads to Kara. Kara, Lorelei, as you guys are surrounding the area, Kara, you're basically slowly walking a perimeter of the surrounding area in a clockwise formation. Lorelei, you're slowly walking counterclockwise. And as you guys slowly walk and walk and walk, you all meet. And then you see something actually rather strange. You see tracks. Tracks that seem to lead away from this disaster area. But they're quite odd. In all of your research and natural experience of the life forms of the island of home, these are tracks you've never seen before. But that's not the odd thing. The odd thing is how you can literally see before you tracks. They seem to be reptilian in nature, with only 2 toes. But as you're slowly walking down the path and looking at the tracks, you can actually see the footprints start to morph. These tracks, you see as you keep walking, the tracks are slowly getting bigger and bigger. And a 3rd toe is slowly growing between the other 2 until it becomes a 3-toed reptilian foot. The overall size of it, which was once no bigger than your own foot, is now 4 times bigger than your foot is long.
I think I know.
Is it called the 3-toed broad?
Brr!
I want to double check if my
I'm sorry.
food is right.
As soon as you said it becomes 3-toed, I just immediately broke. I was like, God damn it.
The 3-toed broad has once again had a successful hunt. Bruh!
Bro.
Bruh!
Bro. Oh no!
Did-
Did we scare the kitty cat?
Did the braying wake up Bubba?
He was just chilling there, and all of a sudden, Josh goes, bro, and he's like, what the fuck?
Oh!
No. Oh, no. I can't listen to that. I'm a terrible person.
You are not a terrible person. We love you to death. All right. So, with that being said, to now get into, oh, where did Josh go?
He's here.
He went to go console
He went to go comfort.
Oh!
Oh my god.
I'm trying to describe how absolutely gory this episode is so far, and all I see is just wholesomeness over there.
Wait. Lorelei says to Kara, Kara, do you see? It went from 2 toes to 3 toes, and then just kept getting bigger, and now it's like almost like 4 of my feet, 4 of my hooves.
I keep forgetting Lorelai has hooves.
Yep. Tiefling. I have her shoes. I will never wear them because they hurt my feet, but they're really cool.
4 times.
Yeah. It's huge.
I once caught a fish this
I know, but
big.
Okay,
It
only
was
Kara knows
this
about this,
big.
right?
unless you want me to be like,
I
"Wah."
think so, yeah.
No,
Alright.
no, not necessarily, because both
Okay.
both Lorelai and Kara were investigating like the same overall area with the same intent in mind.
Well,
So-
I think he meant,
They're the only ones
is
that've
it
seen
just
it.
to meet
Oh,
that
oh,
part
oh,
of this?
yes, yes,
There we
yes.
go.
Now, with that being in mind, we now go to Zethar. Zethar, who is high above in the canopy, like high above the canopy of the jungle, can pretty much right away tell that this whatever went down took out a large chunk of the jungle. Like from a bird's eye view up top, there's just a hole in the tree line. And he can basically see the disaster area itself, and he can also spot how some gore of the Gralion's body actually got flinged and is also hanging on some still standing trees on the edge of the fight scene. Now, he does focus when he sees both Kara and Lorelai meet up. He then kind of focuses his vision right there, and he too can see the tracks. And he's like, glides down a little closer to the floor and starts gliding over the trees, and he's following the tracks. But then he suddenly stops when he exits the jungle, and he finds himself at the beach. The tracks continue through the beach and actually go into the water.
It's Godzilla!
Gojira. Gojira.
I was actually not thinking about Godzilla, but sure.
Gesundheit.
And then
I think
It's Godzilla!
I think I might know what it is actually, but
now then, with that in mind, Zethar then doubles back and flies over to Strider's shoulder, and he relays all of this information. But he only relays what he himself observed. He never saw how the tracks themselves changed shape. He just saw where they were going.
Yeah.
Now then, that now leads to Fidelma and Stridar. Stridar, we'll start with you.
Mhm.
As you do your investigation, and you're basically keeping to the outside surfaces of the various body parts of the Garalion, you see something that's actually quite odd. The chest cavity itself has been completely eviscerated from the inside out. Now that being said, no, and I'm going to squash any xenomorph jokes here, because that is not what happened.
Cool!
Hey, hello, my darling. Hello, my sexy actor.
oh no, not again!
Check, please. No, that is not what happened. However, because you still roll, you can basically tell that the chest cavity itself has been eviscerated from the inside out, but you are able to carefully tell that there is a spot in what remains. There's a part of the rib cage that seems a little odd. Pretty much everything looks like it has just been eviscerated from the inside out, but there is one spot in a portion of the still intact rib cage that looks like it was crushed inwards.
Can I just say that while he's doing this, he's monologuing it like Geralt in The Witcher 3? Because that's the best way that he can like remember things, is like if he says them out loud, but he himself kind of needs to hear himself say it. So he is basically monologuing his investigation. Like,
I love that.
the body chest cavity was burst from the inside out throughout most of the torso here, except for this one area.
I would just like to point out, like, I'm absolutely no disrespect to Stridar or you, Josh, but by you mentioning that, all I can think of is the live-action Dora the Explorer, where she's going, "This is delicioso. Can you say delicioso?" And everyone in the room is like,
She'll
grow out of it. That movie was deceptively amazing. But yes, that's where you basically see that while the majority of everything was torn apart from the inside out, there is that one spot that looks like something went in. Now that then leads to Fidelma's investigation. Fidelma, due to your size, you are actually able to get a little bit more up close and in-depth, literally in this case, with many of the body parts of the Garalion. I would just like to stress that while Garalions are a certain size in canon D&D, the Archbeast version of the Garalion is basically the size of an adult red dragon. It is a massive creature, as is all of the other Archbeasts. They're all relatively the same size. Now, with that in mind, Fidelma, you, while Stridar is getting a more outside perspective of things, because of your small stature, you're actually kind of getting in there somewhat. So you're getting a closer look at the innards and the guts. You can, yeah, it is.
Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Oh my.
Actually,
why is the stomach in the chest cavity?
Actually,
fits.
Actually, Fidelma, it would be more accurate to say that your observation is more along the lines of, oh, there's a lot of stuff missing from here.
That's awful.
Are these guys supposed to be hollow?
No. There are quite a lot of organs missing, as well as some muscle and intestines, and just various other body parts that just seem to be consumed from the inside out. But that's not the weird thing.
On the Giralon, right?
The Garalion, yes.
Garalion, okay.
Now that is not the weird thing, Fidelma, because as you are basically walking from giant body part to other giant body parts, you then find yourself at the head of the creature, which just seems to be just lying on its side, its giant eyes agape in just shock, and its mouth just slightly ajar. Because you rolled a 20, you are actually able to figure this out. With your book smarts, and which then gives you basically a nice little background in possible medical knowledge. Not as a healer, but just like reading stuff and examining stuff.
I also have some animal background because my mother was,
That's right.
Mhm.
Yes, I remember your background now. So because of that background, that's when you made a bit of a discovery. Yes, the Garalion was torn apart, but that did not happen until after it died.
Will I announce this?
You
Can I announce this?
You can if you want.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And Strider kind of goes over to where Fidelma is, on the body.
I think. I'm pretty sure that it would die before all this happened. And it was already dead.
Post-mortem. Can I look closer and see if I can confirm what she says?
Pick
Yes.
me up and set me aside.
Yes, because
No. He sets you on his other shoulder while Zathar's on
right.
one, you're on the other.
Now you see right here.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Basically, right now, all three of you are looking at basically the point of severance of where the neck got basically decapitated from the rest of the body. and the wound itself is different in nature and decomposition than the rest of the body. And I'm not going to go into too many details because I'm not a coroner. I don't know what that is. So we're basically just going to say, yeah, you see details that suggest that it was decapitated first, and that's what killed it, and then it was eaten.
I can tell you. The majority of the blood would be where the head is, and where the body is pulled apart, there would be less blood shed because the body does not pump more blood once it's dead. So therefore, the majority of the blood, see, my mother was a mortician. So,
oh!
in real life.
Is this the real life? Yes.
Yeah.
Getting to know you. Getting to know about you.
You want to know something even crazier? Liam used to run around the funeral home as a little boy.
That fits.
Yeah.
Okay.
So blood. I mean, the fact that if it died from the carotid artery, all of the blood would be where the head is, and when the rest of the body is torn apart,
there's less blood, Stridar. So do you see that? You see, here's where all the blood is. There's less blood here.
One technical question for you, Dia.
Yes.
Did it defecate itself?
No.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
If you're dead, you void your bowels.
Yeah.
Because you have no control over that.
I'll shit somewhere around here. It's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
However, that is not my question. Though now, I'm sure someone might want to go investigate the poop to see what he ate. But no, my question is,
fit right now.
Was it a clean, was it decapitated from like a slash, or was it a pull?
No, that's a solid point, actually.
Was it cut or?
It was almost like if someone took a very hacked up, like, saw-like blade and just went around the entire neck, and then it was pulled.
So it was a little bit of both. So there would be evidence of slashes and a pull.
Yes, and the slash element of this was, it was not like a single blade. It was like a whole bunch of spikes was used to just saw it open.
Okay. So Zethar's like investigating closer and goes, he wasn't decapitated first, but do you see this here? And he's pointing to like more like where the flesh is and the muscle is. He's like, you see here, there's evidence of almost like a saw, like either claw or spinal thing or teeth marks. Yeah, just like cutting it. However, if you look closer, more towards the inside here is kind of pointing to where like the spine or would be, because I'm sure if it got pulled apart, spine might have come off of it out with it. He's like, see there.
So DM, you said the innards are gone, and you said some of the muscle tissue, but is it only from the chest?
The majority of the organs, of the internal organs, are like ripped apart. Not all of them, but like a good 80-90% of them, but also a lot of just the sheer muscle mass from like the arms and the legs. Those got torn apart, and there are just what look like just huge sections of the muscles themselves just ripped out.
Are they missing, or are they just ripped out?
The muscles themselves are still there, but there's like portions of the muscles themselves that are missing.
What about the organs? Are there like specific organs that are missing?
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, the specific organs that are missing doesn't really matter in this case. What does matter is the sheer amount of organs that he's missing.
Well, he's big. What did you expect?
Yeah, I mean that is true, Phenomenal. You've got a good point there.
I mean, my innards are going to be smaller than Stridar's for sure. This
I
guy's,
mean-
his inner's as big as me.
I mean, you compared to me is like almost like the whole group of us compared to this thing. He just looks at the sheer size of the torso that we are like tiny little pigs next to this huge, huge mountain of a torso. It's like, yeah.
And nothing is done to the head. The head's just pulled off. There's no eyes being gorged out or the brains being removed.
No, the head itself
It's intact.
the head itself is kind of intact. I mean, it's messed up, but it's overall
right.
pretty much everything that's part of the head is still there, kind of. Yeah.
All right.
Technical question for Strider with the head.
Yes.
Are the eyes open or closed?
Open.
Open. He said in shock.
So
They're in
Strider,
shock.
yeah. So Strider walks over to the head and sees that the eyes are open. There's a part in the inside that he felt that connection with this archbeast when they were talking over at the gates and they were looking each other in the eye. He looks at the eyes for a moment, but then he kind of, with his hands as best as he can, while being respectful to the head, he closes the eyes of the archbeast to put it to rest, and he kind of takes a moment there, putting his hand upon as best as he can, somewhat near the top of the head, but it's probably because of how big he is. It's probably more closer to like the side there. And he just takes a moment with his eyes closed to kind of say a prayer.
Strider, I have these 2 gears. We can put them on his eyes. It will keep them from opening up.
Thank you. And
All right.
He lifts you up so you can get the one eye that's kind of higher up, which might be like, say, like the right eye, and I take the gear to the left eye. We put them on there, almost kind of like that Greco-Roman style burial where you give the eyes for Chiron. The coins.
Yeah, I pulled it out of my bag of holding. So they're really big. They're really big gears.
All right. Now, with all of that information, Dath, we now come to you and your investigation check. Now, Dath, this is where I want you to get a little creative, because now it's basically now up to you to take all of this information and to piece together what happened. And because you rolled a dirty 20, I will assist you in this in helping piece together what exactly happened here. It's gonna be like you've played Danganronpa, right?
No, actually.
Oh. Okay.
I am playing Judgment right now, which requires a lot of investigation, though. But
okay. Do you at least know in Danganronpa how at the end of every trial they basically
they have a jury kind of thing where they all get together?
Something a bit more specific. In that section where you found the bad guy and you've made your accusation, it is now up to you to actually figure out the exact timeline of events that has transpired, and you have to go step by step of what happened.
Okay.
So, Dath, with all of that information that you've now heard, Dath, how do you piece together this crime scene? What exactly do you think happened? And I will assist you because, again, you rolled a 20. So if you have questions, I will help you.
I'm thinking back to the tracks that we found.
The tracks that were leading away from the fight.
Obviously, this is the thing that most likely was what ate the intestines of this creature. If I were to hazard a guess based on these tracks, how much do I know about animals?
Roll me a general intelligence check.
Okay. 13.
13. You have a pretty good knowledge of the various different types of fauna that live on home. It's very surface knowledge, though, but you do have a general idea of the different types of creatures that live in the various different ecosystems. That being said, though, pretty much all you're able to gather is that whatever this creature is must be some kind of reptile-like creature.
Okay, can I hazard a guess as to what it is?
That, unfortunately, because all you have to go on is just tracks, it doesn't really narrow it down enough for you.
All right.
Now, that being said, though, what else do you perceive? Like, how do you think this all went down?
Well, this is the thing that attacked Stridar, right?
The Garalion, yes.
Okay. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, I would say it probably picked a fight with whatever beat it.
So you're saying that it picked a fight with whatever beat it.
Yeah.
Then what do you think happened?
It lost.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we don't know if this is necessarily the thing that ate the creature or not.
That is true. You don't necessarily know that. But you do know that whatever did end up killing it in the end, was able to burrow itself in. Hence the hole in the chest, and then going outwards.
Okay. So there's just a straight up hole through this whole thing.
Oh.
Yes?
It's changed its size. Could it have been smaller at one point?
Oh. I'm wondering. Could it have been small? Let me look.
Well, that would explain why the tracks are getting bigger.
Could it have burrowed itself in at that one spot?
No.
And then grew?
It wasn't in a fight.
Oh.
The thing was already inside the Garalion.
No, but it's cut at the neck first.
Yay!
Wait a minute. Could it have been two things?
Okay, hold on. We're gonna put a pause on this for a moment, because Dath rolled a 20, I will help kind of funnel and focus some of these ideas, but yes, Lorelai.
Wait, can Lorelai hear this and like run over? It's not that far because they're all in the same kind of place, and she goes, "Are you saying that it was a baby?"
Not maybe a baby, but something like...
No, like...
I was thinking more of a parasite, but...
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking more a shapeshifter.
That bursted out of its belly, and then grew, and then went into the ocean.
This thing is...
I don't know if it's birthing. I think it's like it was outside of it,
but
and then went in, and then came out.
Do I see any eggshells around?
No.
Like it ate an egg.
No.
Okay, you're not getting it. All right.
I thought I had it.
No, it's okay. I'm just like, no, this thing is cursed, right?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
What do you mean by cursed?
This thing obviously has some sort of issue with it, or else it wouldn't be attacking people.
Well, you don't know that, but you do recall how cross.
Well, I know it attacks Stridar.
Allegedly.
Well, you all know, if you remember back then, during the year's end celebration, that the thing was quite pissed off because smaller Garalions of its kind were torn apart as well.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
It didn't technically attack me. I heard it coming towards me, but it was more so going towards the city because it thought that the people in the city might have done something to the other Garalions, and Stridar was talking to it, trying to calm it down, stating that we weren't doing anything, but Stridar would be happy to help it figure out what was going on. And then we heard the weird noise, which, math adding up, kind of seems like it's probably this thing that attacked and killed it. So
got really excited because I thought
the only thing is that its head was decapitated first.
Yes.
And we know it can change its size
Do we know if
because Lorelei saw the footprints.
do we
and it
know
was-
Yes.
Go on, Dath. What?
do we know if the Goralians that were attacked before, were they decapitated?
You don't know that, unfortunately, because up until
Ooh.
coming to this, you never came across any other bodies.
But not of Gralions. But we did
The owl
of
bear.
The owl bear.
That's right.
The owl bears. What about the owl?
Well, the owl bear attacked us.
Those were
No, there was there was an owl bear corpse, and then a completely different owl bear attacked you guys. So you're
Oh, okay, right.
There was the owl bear corpse, which Zephyr, when it went to look at it, got really freaked out, and it was torn apart. I'm trying to remember if during the investigation of that body, if the head in it, because that was session 1 or 2.
It was session 2.
It was session 2. If that head was torn apart post-mortem as well.
We did not investigate that.
That's right. We didn't do anything.
Unfortunately,
We just saw.
Unfortunately, they are right, because you never actually did an actual investigation of that body. You just saw it. Unfortunately, at this time, you are not able to recall exactly what the nature was of how torn apart that body was. That being said, though, I will allow you to do a history check. But I will say this, it is going to be kind of a high DC, because it was a while ago.
Okay.
Who's doing the history check?
Stridar.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Just letting you know, I have +6 in history.
Yeah, I don't remember shit. Just letting you know that right now.
I think this was still blue on that day.
Well, like I will say, like I remember that like it was torn apart, but I can't give you any specifics.
God, we're down one guy and we don't have Steve the Pirate. Wait, who's Steve the Pirate?
Steve.
Carly. Carly, you totally missed the dodgeball reference I did.
My stomach hurts really bad. I'm trying to.
Oh, sweetie.
Oh.
You know whose else stomach hurts really bad right now?
All right. Well, Dath, with all of these observations and with all of this evidence that you seem to have been given by the rest of your crew, Dath, would you like me to lay down the line for you? And this is what you would observe.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Dath. While you're not exactly certain how it started, it is certain to your eyes, and this is like, have you ever seen the movie Boondock Saints?
No.
One of my. Oh my God! What?
What?
Oh.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
My favorite movie. No, it's not okay.
No, I'm trying to think about
Boondock Saints is one of your favorite movies?
Oh my God!
It's
so
an amazing
good.
movie, and they're coming out with a third with most of the original cast. It's been confirmed.
That being said, I'm just trying to find a good example of like a montage where like the investigator is breaking down how something went down, and you can see the scene like play out while he's there narrating it.
Any pro movie or Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sherlock.
Oh yeah, this is definitely Dath, with your theater experience and your vast experience when it comes to like stage setting and basically playing out fight scenes. With that experience, you actually have a pretty good idea how this went down. While you don't know for certain how it started, something clearly decided to pick a fight with a Goralion, or the Goralion decided to fight whatever this thing is. The fight itself was intense. So intense that it destroyed this entire area of the jungle. But through this vicious, savage struggle, this mysterious creature ended up victorious. Somehow able to decapitate the Goralion very messily. And that was the moment when he died. After its death, though, when the body has collapsed, you see that this small creature, the creature, bored itself into the chest of
Okay,
the
that's what I
Gralion,
said. Okay.
and from the inside out, just started to devour everything. Or organs, muscles, tissue, bones. There's so much missing and so much left behind and just flung everywhere.
So it's not even. It doesn't even look like the creature anymore. Basically, at this point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Looks like a shell of itself.
Like it doesn't. If it doesn't even have its bones anymore, then how is it like?
Well, majority. Some bones are still there to kind of keep it shape, but that's not really saying much.
All right.
Now that being said, though, after it finished its feast, it left the body and walked away. And while it was walking away, it went through a metamorphosis.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. It's killed other things.
Yes.
As it was this small thing. It decapitated this big monster as a small thing, then burrowed itself
into the chest of this creature and devoured it from the inside out.
Did it start as big and become small?
Yeah, that's... How does it decapitate something this big if it's really small?
Well, relatively speaking, by looking at the tracks that it was laying out before they grew in size, this thing was relatively, judging by the size of its tracks, possibly the size of a person. Now, I'm not saying it was humanoid, but it was definitely as tall as one. Now, that being said, though, with special techniques or special ways, and with a lot of skill and power, you could inflict a lot of damage to a purely organic creature like an archbeast. Now that being...
but to pull its head from its body.
Now I really am going into a mind palace.
Yeah, that's yeah. To me, I'm like, what?
Okay. So where do the tracks stop?
The tracks stop right at the water. Like they go into the water of the beach, and then that's it. Any other
calling it Godzilla.
No, three-toed sloth.
Oh, it's the three-toed. It's the three-toed bro.
Oh! All right. Anyway.
Bro.
Lorelei, how would you like to talk to some fish?
Oh, I love talking to fish. They're always so nice.
Can we go to the water and see if there's any fish for her to talk to?
Yeah, you certainly can. You know, I'm just gonna say this right now. I actually had, like, an encounter planned for this session, but I'm just having so much fun with this whole investigation thing. Okay, so, Lorelei, you and Dath break from the main group, and you follow the trail towards the beach. This part of the beach is completely deserted. There are, like, no birds, no other, like, ground-based life forms. There's nothing around. So, with that being said, Lorelei, how do you approach the fish? Do you just dive into the water?
I don't dive into the water. I very gently walk into the water, like the shallows.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of run my hands over the water. And I cast...
And then you dunk your face in.
Well, hold on. I'm not there yet.
Okay. Sorry.
And I cast Speak with Animals. Then I dunk my head into the water.
Is that going to help?
Well, I mean, I just thought that she would have to cast it before she started.
Okay.
Alright, so, Lorelei. The good news is, as you cast Speak with Animals, you do catch some attention of some fish that just kind of swim up to you, and they're just kind of hovering in water. What do you say?
Hello, friends. Have you seen any weird creatures that might have entered the water in this direction that have 3 toes?
All of the fish just kind of look at each other for a moment, and while it is kind of faint, you do kind of hear little voices of, creature? Creature? 3 toes? 3 toes? What are toes?
Oh, excuse me. 3 flippers.
And there's a chorus of, oh!
Yeah, sorry.
3 flippers, 3 flippers. Come into water?
Yeah.
Come into water. Come into water. And at that moment, you see kind of a shadow appear off to the side, and this rather large grouper fish just kind of like slowly, not a grouper, he's like a giant coelacanth like fish. He just slowly kind of lazily lists over to you and just says, "You asking about the creature?"
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Stallone. Adrian.
My life. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I saw it. I can't do a good Stallone.
What did it? Hold on. She goes and raises out of the water, takes a big breath, and then goes back down into the water.
This creature. We all saw it. It just...
What did it look like?
Like... It was hunched over. Big tail. Spikes and scales.
Yep.
Some scale.
Nah, yeah, I got it.
Like a... Kinda like an alligator, but much, much uglier.
Yep. Okay.
It stopped right here. Leapt right over us into the water.
Left
And-
over the water.
And it vanished down below.
Oh,
It was covered in blood.
oh, that checks. Okay, well, thank you very much. Did you happen to see which way it went?
Unfortunately, the coelacanth just kind of like shakes its head. But then before it can say anything more, all of the fish suddenly like slowly turn away from you,
Uh-oh.
and they all slowly swim away from you. Lorelei,
That's not good.
because you're in the water and you just kind of look ahead in the distance underwater, you don't see anything. There's nothing there. And yet, all at once, you just get this intense feeling that just surges through your head of, I shouldn't be here.
Oh, I need to leave. And I get out of the water and I say to Dath, we need to go.
All right. Let's
And
get out of here.
as we start walking, I'm telling him everything that the coelacanth fish told me.
Can I make a check to see if Dath figures out what I already know it is?
Well, with that being said, though, and I'm talking to Liam here, not Dath, what are you hoping that Dath is able to figure out?
That it's the monster that I know it is, but I can't say because I don't want to metagame.
Oh.
I just want to know what it's called, man.
How about this, Liam? Why don't you DM me on Discord what you think it is?
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I spell it right.
Taking a quick moment to pause here, folks. I'm
Yeah.
waiting to see what Liam sends me.
Just spell it phonetically.
Well, I already have it, so it's fine.
Okay. I've been texting Liam trying to find out what he knows.
Oh,
He's
I'm
not
sorry.
giving it away.
No, I really want.
You've been texting me, really? I haven't gotten any of it. Oh well.
The reception in this house.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So with that being said, Dath, roll me an intelligence check to see if you think it is what you think it is.
All right. 17.
17. All right. All right. So with a 17, you do have a pretty good idea of what it is that you think it might be. And oh, hey, Bubba.
It's a Bubba.
Oh no, not the black fog.
Thankfully, it's not Wednesday night.
It's a
Oh, thank
displacer
God.
beast.
We're not worried about that.
Oh God, that's right. All right. So Dath, without saying the name of what you, Liam, have DM'd me, now I'm speaking to Dath here. Dath, with that intelligence check, you take all of the evidence that you might have found out, and you try to analyze, could this be what you think it is? But there is one thing about this that you realize doesn't match up.
Okay.
This can't be what you think it is, because based on the tracks, this thing, like, is it okay if I give one detail about what it is that you think it might be? Like it.
Sure.
Okay.
Is it the toes?
It's not just the toes. It's the number.
Okay.
It's the number of legs.
Okay.
Based on the tracks that you see, this thing was walking on 2 legs.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it does. That's why you were calling it Godzilla. Got it.
Gojira.
Basically, to kind of give you an idea of what this. Hold on. Let me. To give you basically an idea of the kind of tracks that look like what it is now, think of what a T-Rex's tracks look like in Jurassic Park. Just massive 3 toes.
Okay. Are we dealing with dinosaurs? Because those are in D&D.
They are,
That's
technically
what
speaking.
they are.
That thought has crossed your mind, Dath, but based on what Lorelai relayed to you when she spoke to the fish, it doesn't appear to be a Tyrannosaurus, because Tyrannosauruses are overall, they are scaly creatures, but they are smooth still in complexion. The fish's testimony suggests that whatever this is was very spiky and menacing looking, possibly.
Oh God, don't tell us. Oh.
Well, let's get back to the group, I guess. So.
All right, so all of you return to the group. So, Dath and Lorelai, you relay your findings to everyone else. Stridar, Kara, Fidelma, how do you guys respond to this?
Stridar, go ahead.
Oh no, Kara's just sitting there, just kind of like, yeah, don't like that. What's a Strider?
Stridar would be like, well, I think we've gathered what we needed based off of what our instructions were.
Uh-huh.
With your suggestion, Kara, of Lorelai, of, the feeling that you have, I think that is warranted, and we should go back and relay our findings.
All right. So, with that being said, you all decide to collect together once again. You all kind of compose yourselves. You all decide to figure out that, okay, we've done what we can. We've collected all the evidence we could. I think you all kind of collectively agreed that it's pretty safe to deduce that you've done what you could. It is time to possibly get back to... No, Josh, it's not that.
You described it perfectly, okay? I'm just confirming.
No. Trust me. If it was indeed that, this would be a much shorter campaign.
So
I mean,
God,
Wait a minute,
that just
wait a minute.
made me so scared.
I mean, we beat it.
yeah,
I wanted one of its babies.
yeah, you did.
So,
I will say this, and I'm kind of breaking character here. This creature is completely homebrew. It is inspired.
Oh.
It has inspirations from many sources. One of them is that, Josh, but it is in of itself not that.
Is one of it inspired by Jurassic World?
No.
Okay, because
Okay.
when you said like spikes and all of the stuff that you were describing I immediately thought about the Indominus Rex, and I was like, "That's cool as fuck."
No, it is not.
Oh,
It is not the Indominus. Though that would be awesome.
Right?
Okay.
I was like, did he homebrew a dinosaur made up from
No.
Jurassic World?
I mean, they did. That's
Hello?
literally the plot of Jurassic World.
what
No.
what were we exactly supposed to do?
You were to investigate the body of the Goralian, or what remains of it, and find out what happened to it, and then report back to Volthric directly with your findings.
Which is what we did.
Yeah, at least we know what. You
Well,
know.
we haven't reported back to Volford yet.
No,
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
you've all been outside this whole time.
Yeah.
Now, with that
My
being...
only thing is that okay.
Stridar, the only problem is that we have some fish telling us what it looks like,
Yes.
but we don't know if it's gonna keep attacking. Is
Correct.
this, I mean, from this investigation, can we tell Volthric that we think it's done, or that we need to mount a search?
Strider kind of thinks about it and thinks back to like everything they have seen so far and heard so far throughout this last 10 sessions, basically, and just goes, I have a feeling that it's not done. And I would rather tell Volthric we better prepare for potentially more things like this to occur unless we are able to somehow track it and take it down as Great Blades.
I think I need to go to the library. There has to be something that I can find about three-toed and growing monster. It couldn't have just come from nowhere.
Some animals grow very fast, but not this fast.
Oh, I have an idea. Strider looks over to Kara and goes, Kara, would your uncle's library have potentially anything that could help out with this?
I mean, there's always a possibility.
That might be something good. And he looks over to Dath and goes, Dath, you seem to be really good at investigations as well as looking and researching. Would you be able to help out Fidelma with that?
Dath?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was for me. What was the question?
Strider looks at you and goes, Dath, you seem to be really good with researching as well, because you did research for the group that kind of broke off from the Grey Blades, would you be able to assist in looking, say, maybe one of you goes to Kara's uncle's library, and the other one maybe goes to the Grey Blades library, and look up and see if there's anything that might sort of match this description, whether it's directly like names it or refers to it. And maybe I can go and talk to some higher up Grey Blades that I know through my training here and see if maybe they have any knowledge.
Yeah, I can absolutely help with that.
DM.
Yes?
My background is sage with researcher.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that you may rule that the knowledge that I'm trying to go seek is inaccessible.
The knowledge itself that you are seeking is indeed accessible.
Okay.
But
Right,
you
that's
need to now, if the knowledge is there or not, you won't know that until you actually go to like the Grey Blades library or something.
Right. It just says that I need to, that it could be secreted away, like you're saying, or it just simply will not be found. So.
In this case, it's not that the knowledge is inaccessible. You just don't know if it's there or not, but you can indeed try to seek it out. Now, that being said, though, Lorelei, yes.
Lorelei looks at Strider and goes, what did you want me to do?
Oh, hold on. I'm coming back. Sorry.
How dare you? No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Strider looks at Lorelei and goes, why don't you... He looks and goes, well, you're really good. You're really good at tracking and finding things out. Why don't you and Zephyr see if maybe just around the immediate area of around the city, if in the forest and different climates, see if there's any other tracks that might have left, whether recently within the last week or so, and maybe if some other animals might have seen it and could give more descriptions. With your speak with animals, and Zephyr, well, quite intelligent little buddy. He gives a little fist pump to his little dragon friend. He's like, yeah. He's like, being an intelligent sentient animal, he could also speak with animals. So maybe between you talking with some and him talking with some, all that knowledge gathered together could be very beneficial, as well as tracking you on the ground and him up above.
That's a good idea.
Lorelei, do you know other hunters?
No, I don't really. Until we started, I don't really talk to anyone.
Okay, just a thought.
And then Strider looks at the car and goes, do you think your uncle might be able to have some connections that might be able to figure this out? Would you be able to talk to him and see if he might be able to have anyone that might be able to help out, and you could talk to them, or you and your uncle could talk to them?
I'm sure we can figure something out. Side question / note. Are we just gonna leave the big guy here like this, or is there something we can do out of, I suppose, respect, like bury him or burn him or
yeah, is there any lore to that kind of
He's
thing?
ginormous.
But
Sorry.
No. That's why she's asking. She's like, I have no idea what to do here. Do we just leave him? Do we try to respect him, or?
Well, Strider did close the eyes long with Fidelma out of respect. However, DM, would Strider being kind of his ranger background, would he, and Forest kind of being his thing, like this jungle, would he kind of know? Would he kind of have a sense of like, it being an animal, kind of getting back to his be laying here, being able to be food and nourishment to like other beasts, would that be more respectful? Or like say, have Zethar, the little dragon, maybe set it aflame to kind of burn it in a ritual like manner? What would be more respectful for it?
Yeah, because it's an arch beast. So
yeah, it is an arch beast.
That's the big reason why Kara's like, should we just leave it here? I mean, really?
Well,
we kind of somewhat worship this thing.
My first instinct is that let the other Goralions that are in this area do with the Archbeast what would be best for it, since it was their leader. But I want to know what the DM would think, based off of Strider's background.
You see, that's actually the weird thing. Ultimately, when it comes to how life maintains its balance on home, pretty much it is a big circle of life where things get eaten, things kill, things live, and you just gotta, let things be. If this was any other creature, you would just let the body be where it is and just let scavengers just take care of it. But that being said, though, Kara is right. This is an Archbeast. An Archbeast is different from the normal creatures of this island. They are the patron guardians of all life on this island, and that includes the people that live in Acheron. And yet, with all of that in mind, don't worry, I have more here, because I am getting to my answer for you, Josh. Unfortunately, there is literally no precedent to what happens should an Archbeast die, because an Archbeast has never died before. These things have been around since quite literally the beginning, or as far as back as you can remember from how much history is taught, back when you were younger. You have no clue what you're supposed to do with this.
Let me check one thing real quick here.
All right.
I saw something earlier when I was looking something up that I thought might help out in this situation. Where'd it go? See, that doesn't necessarily work either. I was trying to see if my primeval awareness would be able to help out with sensing it, or tracking, or try to see if any other Growlians around, but it doesn't deal with beasts. It deals with aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within a mile of me, or 6 miles of my favorite terrain, which is forests. So I was trying to see, it's would this be able to help out? No. But however, could I do a shift and see if maybe I sense any Growlians around the area? Because my idea is, if I could find some Growlians, maybe along with your assistance, Lorelei, since you have to speak with animals, if we could ask a regular Growlithe if they would want to do what they feel would be best with this Archbeast, since it was yes, the Archbeasts are the guardians for everyone, but the Growlion was specific whenever it spoke about the other ones being its family, and seemed to have that closer connection with them. And in my mind, Stridar would feel as though, as much as he would want to pay respect in his own way with the Growlithe, he feels as though it should really be the other Growlithe that do something with the body, and he would want to speak with them before he suggested anything to say go back to the city and talk to the Greyblades or talk to the higher ups there and be like, we should hold a burial for the Growlithe or burning for the Growlithe to pay respect to it. He feels as though it should be something that he speaks to, as this group speaks to them first, to see what they would want to do with it.
My only injection here is, would they want to see the head and see how it was serrated and cut off. I mean, if we do anything, maybe Volthric might want to come out and look at it after we say what we saw.
That's what I was gonna suggest too.
We could ask the other Graldons to hold off till our leaders are able to take a look at it themselves and do what we need to do to figure out how to catch the beast that did this to the Archbeast. And then afterwards they can do whatever they need to do to pay respects to their leader.
Yeah, Lorelai, tell them we're gonna help them. We want to help them. We're gonna find who did this.
Got it.
So could I do that? But can I do that kind of like perception with in my shift form to see if I could find, or survival, whichever one, to find a Growlodon that might be in the area, and I could do it up because the investigation is in my favorite terrain. Or perception, survival, whatever it might be that you think would be best.
That in this case would actually be allowable. So, Stridar, because you are doing like active tracking in your favorite terrain, this will be a survival check.
Perfect. Since I'm doing a shift, that means I get advantage on it, which means I get to roll twice. Thank God. That's better. That is a dirty. The first roll was a 1. I'm like, no. Then the second roll made up for it, making it a dirty 20.
There you go.
I deny you 1. All right, Stridar.
Yes.
Using everything that you were taught when you were just an apprentice of the Greyblades, combining your taught skills with your natural senses and everything that has culminated up to this point, you have a pretty good idea of where the Growlions might be nesting at this point. And you basically signal for everyone to follow you. You lead the way out of this giant destroyed area and back into the jungle proper where everything is intact. After about 15 minutes of just pure walking deeper and deeper into the jungle. And I do apologize, Josh, I'm going to take control here just a little bit. You then put your fist up and you stop. And all of you get this intense gut feeling that you are all being watched. And at that moment, a Growlion just lands on the ground right in front of you and just rises up. And this thing is like 8-9 feet tall. And then a second Growlion. And then a third, fourth, fifth. You are now all surrounded by Growlions. And they do not look happy in the slightest. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Oh, man, this...
Oh! You always end so early.
I know. Oh, no, this is actually kind of around the time when I do it. It's anytime between 9:50 and 10. This is typically when we do it. But yeah, that is that, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream, be it here or on YouTube, where it'll be posted later. Next session, which will be the Great Poison, that will be the first time using not only normal OBS, but that one we will be streaming directly to YouTube.
Alright.
Now, that being said, before we disconnect here, does anyone have any parting words they would like to give?
How dare you?
I will post in the notes kind of like what our plan is for when we get back to basically back to the Greyblades as to like what the kind of plan was, so that way we don't forget. So that way it's still fresh in my mind, and that way we can kind of like look back at the notes and see.
I would also just add in the notes about what we're gonna talk to the Growlions.
Yeah, and talk to the Growlions about,
Right. All right. Anything else from anyone?
Nope.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. We love you. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.